You mentioned the semis. The president is speaking now out in Phoenix. Again, that big investment from Taiwan Semi. Let's listen into President Biden.
That when I first became president, and they said, Biden is so slow he doesn't realize there are no seats out here. Anyway, thank you, Mark, for the introduction. I appreciate it very much. Your company's commitment to building, as you put it, is a vibrant semiconductor ecosystem in the United States. That's what we're doing with your help. Thank you to everyone at TSMC, especially Morris Chang, who founded this company in 1987 and grew it into a global giant. But the most significant thing about him is his wife, Sophie. I tell you, believe it or not, Sophie worked in my first senatorial campaign when I ran for the Senate. True story. So I owe an awful lot to this company. We had a lieutenant governor named S.B. Wu and his wife Kathy were on my staff, and they got her involved. And so I want to thank her very much for that. Mayor, thanks for welcoming us to your city, and Gov, you and I are different sides, but we see and share the same vision as Arizona is a hub, literally a hub for technical change that's going to take place, and that's well underway. Governor-elect Hobbs, is Governor-elect Hobbs here? I don't think. Gov, congratulations. Congratulations. Well, I tell you what, you're starting off in the right place. This is going to be an incredible asset to the state of Arizona. A special thanks to the incredible Arizona Democratic members of Congress who flew out with me today from Washington. Senator Kelly, you deliver for Arizona every single day, including on the CHIPS and Science Act, which will bring jobs to this state and would not be law without you, and that's not hyperbole. Arizona is lucky to have you fighting for them for the next 6 years. And Gabby Gifford, a great friend, is here as well. When I gave Gabby the Presidential Medal of Freedom this summer, I said she was one of the most courageous people I've ever known. People of Tucson elected her to the Congress 3 times because they trusted her, they believe in her, and she's the embodiment of that core American trait. Never, ever, ever, ever give up, and she never does. And I want to thank Senator Sinema, who can't be with us today. She's in Washington working out another major piece of legislation. A tremendous advocate for the people of Arizona and a leader in so many issues important to this state. 4 of Arizona's representatives are here with me, Ruben, Greg, Tom, and Raul. And where are you guys? We flew out together. They're still talking to me. Anyway, thank you, gentlemen, very much for all you've done to get us here today. And champions for their constituents working to build an economy that doesn't leave anyone behind. Gina Raimondo is an outstanding Secretary of Commerce, a fierce champion of U.S. industry, especially in semiconductors. I want to thank you to the business leaders here today. Tim Cook of Apple, where are you, Tim? He buys a few of these little chips. And he's a small customer here at this outfit. Between 25 and 35% of their, but anyway, I hope they're treating you well. And Sanjay of Micron. Sanjay has represented more than 24 tech and manufacturing companies, and you're here because you're seeing what we're all seeing. American manufacturing is back, folks. American manufacturing is back. I recently took a trip literally around the world, starting in Egypt and ending up in Guam and finally coming home, ending with a meeting in Indonesia with the G20. The countries with many of the largest economies in the world. And what was clear in those meetings is the United States is better positioned than any other nation to lead the world economy in the years ahead if we keep our focus. There's a strong sense from all the world leaders of the resiliency of the American economy, and we're seeing it here at home with investments like the one we're talking about today. Together, with the help of your elected leaders here today, we've had an extraordinary 2 years of progress. We passed the American Rescue Plan, keeping tens of thousands of cops, firefighters, teachers, first responders on the job in all 50 states when revenues dropped because of the nature of the economy. We fully vaccinated more than 220 million people. We're rebuilding our infrastructure, fixing our roads, our bridges, our airports, strengthening American manufacturing by creating 750,000 manufacturing jobs just since I become president. What I'm most excited about is people are starting to feel a sense of optimism as they see the impact of the achievements in their own lives. It's going to accelerate in months ahead, and as part of the broad story about the economy we're building that works for everyone, one that grows from the bottom up and the middle out, that positions Americans to win the economic competition of the 21st century. When we grow it that way, the poor have a shot, the middle class do well, and the wealthy do very well. My dad used to have a saying. He said, you say, a job is about a lot more than a paycheck, Joey. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being able to look your child in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Thousands of Arizonans are going to be able to look their kid in the eye because of what you're doing here today and saying, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. Back in April 2021, I met with Mark and other industry leaders. TSMC had made a $12 billion investment here in Phoenix to build the first fab to make semiconductors in the United States. Now, the equipment is ready to move in. Next year, commercial operations are going to begin. And today, TSMC has announced a second major investment. They'll construct a second fab here in Phoenix to build chips, the 3 nano chips, the 3 nano chip. Chips that are 3 nano, and you know what I'm saying. Nano, no, I don't know. But look, these are the most advanced semiconductor chips on the planet. The chips will power iPhones and MacBooks, as Tim Cook can attest. Apple had to buy all the advanced chips from overseas. Now they're going to bring more of their supply chain here home. It could be a game changer. All told, TSMC is investing $40 billion here in Arizona, the largest foreign investment in the history of this state. Over 10,000 construction jobs and 10,000 high-tech jobs will be created. And I want to thank everyone in this company for making this happen. You know, I know our host won't mind my pointing out that America invented the chip. Morris Chang was a pioneer in the era of graduating from MIT and getting his start at Texas Instruments. Federal investment helped reduce the cost of those chips, creating a market and an entire industry that America led. Over 30 years ago, America had more than 30% of the global chip production. Then something happened. American manufacturing, the backbone of our economy, began to get hollowed out. Companies moved jobs overseas. Today we're down to producing only around 10% of the world's chips, despite leading the world in research and design of new chip technologies. But folks, where is it written? Where is it written that America can't lead the world once again in manufacturing? I don't know where that's written, and we're proving it can. Not just here in America. Micron is investing $100 billion to build semiconductor factories in Syracuse, New York. Intel is investing $20 billion to do the same in Ohio. IBM is investing $20 billion in Poughkeepsie, New York. I just went up there. These investments are helping us build and strengthen the supply chain here in America. I want to be clear. As we build a stronger supply chain, our allies and partners are building alongside us as well. Some of the companies here today are customers that are going to buy these chips made here. Some are suppliers that are going to help make these chips. And they all depend on a strong supply chain. That's why we're doing what we're doing here in Arizona matters across the country and around the world. Folks, as we see here in Phoenix, the United States is a top destination for companies across the globe looking to make investments because we have a world-class, highly skilled, committed workforce, union labor. And more than, you can clap for that. More than 3,000 union workers.
All right, on that applause line, we're going to take it back. Of course, still monitor those comments. The president today in Phoenix on what is truly a historic day for the future of technology manufacturing in this country. That new Taiwan semi plant, the first of two, a massive investment, said to be one of the largest direct foreign investments ever in the United States, some $40 billion. Saw the president there also shouting out Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, Micron's CEO as well. Jensen Huang of NVIDIA is there, too. Christina Partsinevelos has been following all of that for us on a historic day.
It's not only the largest, it's the largest definitely in the state of Arizona, but this is a big deal. The fact that the president just finished saying that equipment is already being moved into that first fab, TSMC's first fab. The second one, construction is going to be underway with the chips possibly being made by 2026. President Biden went on to say that we are leading in R&D in the United States. Where is it written that America can't lead in manufacturing? And so that's the whole point of this and the point behind the Chips and Science Act, to bring back manufacturing here in the United States, especially to diversify the supply chain and have less of a reliance on Asia. That's the situation right here, which is why some of the customers like Apple is the largest customer for TSMC, why Tim Cook is there. He spoke, he touted the event, and this is a historical moment. The same thing from NVIDIA's CEO, calling it a miracle what TSMC is doing, given that they're the largest chip contractor in the world. So you have big CEOs there supporting the initiative that's being put forth by TSMC. And it's not just TSMC. You have Intel, Micron, Samsung, IBM, all committing billions of dollars to build here in the United States. Important to note, though, this is not going to happen overnight, and they're still going to have a lot of difficulties growing, especially when it comes to gathering the talent here in the United States.
Yeah, a reasonably small percentage as well of the overall manufacturing by these companies, too. Important to note that as well. Christina, thank you very much. That's Christina Partsinevelos. But American manufacturing is back.